Phillip, I understand you were getting some of those last-minute tips to help keep your garden alive.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, Jerry. Just like thousands of other gardeners, I was just giddy when we ended up having all this wonderful weather last week, and I decided to go ahead and put some plants to the ground. Well, that may have been a mistake. If you look here over at the garden shop here in Homewood, a number of these plants are covered over. What the owners are hoping is that by covering the plants over like this, that after this freeze has gone through, they're going to be able to bloom again. You know, Sherry, I got to steal a line from Larry Langford at this point. You better buckle up because this train, well, it certainly has left the station. Now, you'll recall in our discussions with Larry Langford over the last couple of weeks that he plans to move very fast once he is mayor. Well, during his inauguration speech today, he reinforced just that. Now, the Birmingham Waterworks Board believes that actually using a handheld water hose, like this one here, will actually help conserve water. But as we found out through a little test today, that isn't the case. As troopers and local fire brigades work to control the flames, bystanders were forced to wait outside their vehicles, hoping that they'd be able to soon resume their day. When cutting your lawn, have you ever thought about the damage that you're actually doing by pushing your lawnmower next to a running air conditioning unit? Many air conditioning companies say that it's being careless around your AC unit that causes clogs and forces the units to break down. To really appreciate just how hot it is out here, the heat index today is more than 103 degrees, but these Jefferson County workers are braving twice that, as this new asphalt as it's laid down is over 200 degrees. So you might ask yourself, why on earth would I want one of these in my home? Well, imagine if you will that you're asleep and you hear a ruckus downstairs. You know someone's coming into your home and your family's in danger. So you need that gun. It's as easy as sliding this card, and then voila, your gun is in your hand.
Now, with all the devastation you see there in Prattville, hundreds of people were up with the sun trying to salvage what they could.
Yeah, it's a scene that seems to be repeated every year, and one that hits close to home for CBS 42's Phillip Ohnemus. He joins us now live from Prattville. And Phillip, how are the people in your hometown coping right now?
Well, you know, Sherry, as you just saw, and what you can see behind me, the damage here, it's catastrophic. Now, there's literally hundreds of homes that have been leveled, and many people are trying to pick up the pieces. But sometimes it's those little things that are found inside the rubble that make all the difference. You never expect it to be your home on the evening news, especially when that home is so new. And Chad and Lindsay Nichols never expected that they'd have to start over so soon.
Our parents, when they came to get us from all this, right when it happened, they didn't even know which houses are. They couldn't even, tell except for our cars in the driveway. So it's weird.
Losing a home is bad enough, but it's losing those personal treasures that's so unbearable. But in the heart of disaster, one treasure most dear was found.
I didn't have my wedding ring on at the time, so we found that in the living room. That was the most important in my wedding pictures, because we've only been married for 5 months, and that was important to me.
Sometimes fortune does smile on those who suffer greatly. Another special item was also found in the wreckage. In a single closet spared from the tornado, the Nichols found their future.
Yesterday I took an architectural class in my sophomore year of high school, and my wife actually found them and wants to build. So
rebuilding is what much of this neighborhood will be forced to do. William Rowland's home was spared, but his business, it wasn't so lucky.
That was the scariest part.
What is that?
That's a 1/4-inch thick piece of glass from the front window.
Rowland never thought this would be what he would find after what he thought were airplanes flying overhead.
And I got to thinking that why would those planes be flying in this kind of weather? And then my wife started screaming that there's a tornado going through the front.
Most of the merchandise will have to be written off, and it'll take time to make things right again. But the hardest part for anyone is starting over.
There's going to be a handful of months that we won't have any income coming in, because this has got to be all rebuilt.
Now, there's literally hundreds of stories like that here in the Prattville area right now, but the stories that aren't being told are the neighbors that are helping neighbors that literally have nothing left and sharing what they can actually find in that rubble. But it's like the governor said earlier today, Prattville will be rebuilt, and it'll be rebuilt better, because that's what we do in Alabama. Reporting in Prattville, Phillip Ohnemus, CBS 42 News. On Easter morning, we all expect there to be a little visitor in our home, but usually we don't expect that visitor to come and intend to do us harm. But that's exactly what happened in this community this morning here in Birmingham.
2 guys and a girl in the back, and 2 more guys tried to rob us, thought we had some money.
Here's how Birmingham police say the invasion went down. Just before 9 a.m., the woman and 2 men approached the home, 1900 29th Avenue North. The woman knew the homeowner and asked if 2 of her friends could come in and use the restroom. And according to police, that's when the attack came. The two individuals that were supposed to be using the restroom came at the homeowner with a wrench. Fortunately, during the struggle, the homeowner, he was able to reach a gun, was able to bring it up, got a shot off, striking one of the assailants. That's when they decided they were going to flee. With a trail of blood in their wake, the suspects fled into their waiting car. They turned the ignition and sped away in their white Crown Victoria. But they didn't get far. The driver, he was losing blood fast, and he passed out, causing the car to swerve and slam into this power pole. Neighbors in this community say that they're not surprised by the scene. They say it's a fact of life in this community, and that's the reason why no one wanted their face to be shown.
Just put it like this, you be scared for your life. I was scared they might come back at me. They might think I'm trying to tell something on them.
In Birmingham, Phillip Ohnemus, CBS 42 News.
Suddenly, the search for Pamela Biggers in Florida has shifted to Ohio. CBS 42's Phillip Ohnemus explains this latest twist in the search.
The search for 52-year-old Pam Biggers is moving into its 5th month. But there may be light at the end of the tunnel in finding the Hueytown woman who was last seen at a Panama City La Quinta Inn. Biggers' sister, Paula Thomas, recently received a call from a 419 area code, but she missed the call and no message was left. Thomas believes that call was in reference to her missing sister.
I want that person to call me back so desperately. I understand why they don't. It just made me sick that I missed that phone call.
But that missed call to Paula Thomas isn't the only strange phone call to be made in the last week regarding this case. Now, Bay County deputies acknowledge that they too have received several tips originating out of Ohio. Most of those numbers have gone back to a mental health clinic here in Mansfield. Both Thomas and the Sheriff's Department have since attempted to confirm that Biggers is a patient at the Center for Individual and Family Services. But by law, the clinic cannot confirm a patient's status without written permission.
It causes a lot of problems. There's been problems that we've suffered before with the HIPAA laws, you know, that it's meant to protect people's privacy, but sometimes interferes with us being able to locate people we need to locate, like in this case.
Further complicating this matter, family members believe that Biggers is suffering from amnesia and doesn't know who she is.
It is very disheartening that there's a possibility she could be in that facility or someone there has seen her and they cannot let the family know.
This is Phillip Ohnemus reporting for CBS 42 News. The Dodge Charger experiment has been a success for Alabama State Troopers. The muscle of the fleet debuted in late 2006 with 10 vehicles, and this 4th of July weekend, the number of troopers rocking these Hemi-powered beasts is doubling. 11 new semi-marked cars hit the road today. The cars are part of an aggressive campaign which troopers credit to saving lives.
We're at 78 less fatalities today, or yesterday, than we were this time last year.
But getting one of these special cars isn't something that happens for every trooper. In fact, the troopers that were selected to get the first 11 of these semi-marked vehicles were a very select few.
It's an honor to, you know, to have the opportunity to have a car like this, to get out and actually try to make a difference and, you know, change somebody's, you know, maybe change somebody's life.
Changing lives and saving lives by cracking down on aggressive driving. Troopers will be enforcing the moving violations that drivers may have gotten away with in the past.
What we consider aggressive driving are any combination of unsafe lane change, tailgating or following too closely, failure to yield right of way, and speeding.
On patrol with Alabama State Troopers, I'm Phillip Ohnemus, CBS 42 News.
Shelby County Sheriff Chris Curry says he needs more deputies.
That's right. Tonight, CBS 42's Phillip Ohnemus takes a peek where the extra bodies are needed most.
Every call to the Sheriff's Department begins here.
Shelby County Sheriff's Office.
Teresa Dixon has been dispatching for 12 years, and she's noticed her workflow has grown at an enormous pace.
There's only 2 of us, 2 people working, and it's constant.
And dispatching is one of the areas Sheriff Chris Curry hopes the county can help reinforce.
For the protection of the people, we actually need, you know, more deputies and dispatchers because we really don't have enough.
You don't have to spend much time in the radio room to appreciate just how hard these women work. And as I learned today on my ride along, they keep their guys in the field pretty busy as well.
Go ahead, Sergeant.
It's a routine call, serve the warrant, and bring the suspect in. Shelby County doesn't have a warrant division, and that means it's up to standard patrolmen like Chris Harmon to serve all 9,000 outstanding warrants. Felony warrants require 2 deputies.
The second unit can be 45 minutes away at times, depending on circumstances.
This call was drug-related, and backup arrived within a few minutes. But Harmon says staffing shortages usually keep him working alone.
I guess you get a little bit different mindset, but you try to maintain that. You try to have a plan for every situation, and that's just part of the job. That's what we do.
In Shelby County, Phillip Ohnemus, CBS 42 News. Trying to stay cool in Shelby County? I'm Phillip Ohnemus, CBS 42 News.